You have beautiful hands. They are quite unused to physical labor.
Hello, guys. This time, the admin will summarize the movie about the love of a spy and his enemy set in World War II. So, prepare coffee, prepare snacks. Let's go to the video. The movie begins with a man named Brandt, who just woke up from his sleep, knowing that this man was the captain of the German infantry troops at that time. That morning, he received a call from his superior, General Falkenberg, to become a bodyguard for Emperor Wilhelm, two former German emperors who were currently in exile in the Netherlands due to losing the war. Falkenberg also informed him that Brandt had the right to accommodate Emperor Wilhelm's military to ensure his safety. In short, Brandt went to the Netherlands with the German soldiers who would begin the attack on the Netherlands and Belgium. When he arrived at Wilhelm's residence, the maids in the house ran and rushed to welcome the captain's arrival. The man got out of the car confidently and went to the big white doors, which were opened by a newly hired maid named Micah Brandt, and began to meet Colonel Siegert, Emperor Wilhelm's aide. The colonel instructed him that Brandt and his troops should not overstep their bounds and not interfere too much with the female staff, including the maids in the house. In his tense position, Brandt agreed without hesitation. Elsewhere, Emperor Wilhelm was living his life like an ordinary person, splitting wood, when his wife Hermina came to tell him that a captain had been sent to protect him, and they had to prepare dinner. Hermina believed that all actions had to be taken carefully for her husband to return to his throne again. After reporting to Colonel Siegert, Brandt went to the army barracks to meet a Gestapo inspector named Dietrich, who would give him the details of his work as Wilhelm's bodyguard. After meeting with Dietrich, Brandt was assigned to pay attention to guests visiting Wilhelm's residence, including reporting on Wilhelm's movements. Even though it was an oversight, Brandt had to record everything. Dietrich also added that if the British Secret Service had special agents in their vicinity, these special agents were tracked by coded radio transmissions that they perceived as a threat to Wilhelm's life. Brandt then asked what the point of killing an old man who was overthrown 20 years ago was. Dietrich also didn't care, but still, Wilhelm was the former emperor they had to protect. The man also emphasized that if Brandt failed in his task, his life was at stake. That night, Micah visited Brandt's private room to tell him about Wilhelm's dinner invitation. After delivering his message, there was a sudden silence between the two. Brandt looked at the maid's beautiful face and directly told Micah to take off her clothes. Without hesitation, Micah took off her clothes and showed her perfect body shape. Brandt did not blink at the beauty of the body in front of him. The warmth of making love began to wrap the two of them after they finished, and Micah immediately left without a word. Before Brandt attended the dinner, Sigurd explained the manners and conversations that should not be had in anticipation of the unexpected in the dining room, where Wilhelm and his wife were waiting for Brandt's arrival. Wilhelm talked about random things, but Brandt's attention was always distracted by Micah, who was standing next to the dining table. Hermina realized that Brandt kept staring at Micah, but she ignored it for the sake of her husband's interests, climbing his throne again. But the dinner fell apart when Wilhelm asked about Brandt's family and life, which turned out to be all dead from the war. Wilhelm suddenly became angry because he felt blamed for all the misfortunes that befell Germany. The man then left them. After dinner was over, Brandt went back to his room with a tired face. He was surprised when someone turned on the light. It was Mike who was waiting for him. The woman then asked Brandt to take off his clothes with her soft hands. Micah began to trace every inch of his body before pushing him onto the bed. They made love for the second time that night. That night, Brandt asked Micah to stay there, but she left again without saying anything the next day, and Siegert told him about information on British secret agents in their neighborhood. Wilhelm didn't pay much attention and told Siegert to take care of it. The old man then went to the pond and fed the ducks. Micah came to accompany his master there. When they exchanged conversations, Wilhelm saw Brandt and immediately called out to the old man, telling him about the secret agent who would threaten his life. Brandt assured him that he would be safe as long as Brandt was there. Wilhelm then told Micah to show her Brandt's new room in the mansion. As soon as they entered the room, they exchanged their full names. Brandt seems to be mesmerized by the maid, but Micah says relationships between staff are forbidden in the mansion, and if caught, they will lose their respective positions.